this week I'm going to reflect on some challenging behaviour that I have been dealing with from a small percentage of pupils in my Year 10 BTEC class. We have had problems with this group from the beginning in September. I've tried a number of different strategies, which some have worked, but they are failing to make any long-term progress. So we might have a really good lesson where the behaviour is under control, and then the next lesson it's just back to the chaos again. So I feel that we're not having any long-term effect upon this group. And I feel that this is having an effect upon their progress in terms of the BTEC course. They perform better in highly structured lessons, I have discovered. And I have done some highly structured lessons with them, where the tasks follow one after another. There's very little time in between the tasks, and in those kind of lessons, their behaviour shows a marked improvement. However, we are at the point now in the course where independent work is required, and they need to learn lines. And they need to rehearse in their group, and they need to be able to perform for their assessor to mark them and to give them a pass, a merit or a distinction. This week I had a particularly chaotic lesson with them, and I have tried my previous strategies of classroom management, of referring to the rules that we agreed with at the beginning of term on the wall. I've tried to separate them, but nothing worked, and it just really did descend into chaos. Now, the research I'm going to refer to this week is the school behaviour policy. The school behaviour policy says that any pupil that is disrupting the lesson should be sent to a green room, which I have tried, and I regularly send, I'm sorry to say, one particular girl to the green room. Such is her disruption to the whole of the class. However, on this occasion, the school behaviour policy also says that if they refuse to go to the green room, then an on-call, a pastoral manager or a senior member of staff will come and collect them and take them away. But I could have done that, but I'm looking at a long-term plan here. We have tried on-call before, we've tried the green room many a time before, but nothing is having a long-term effect upon this class. My mentor has supported me in trying different strategies and different groupings, and we've given them, or I have given them, all individual targets which I ask them to refer to frequently. So what was I going to do about this situation, which clearly cannot continue? After the lesson, I suggested to my mentor that we split them up. And I pointed out that there was two teachers, him and myself, and that I didn't feel that we were addressing the 70% of the class that are well behaved, that do want to do drama, that want to complete the course, and probably about 25% of them are capable, and more than capable, of getting a distinction. I pointed out that we're nearing the end of the first term now, with very little progress being made in terms of the bonding as a group and progressing with their course content. We agreed to split, therefore, the group into two groups, with the 4 disruptive pupils in one group and the rest in another group, with each of us taking it in turns be the lead teacher in each of the groups. So, did this work? The following lesson, we did split up. Each group received an explanation that the groups were not set in stone, that they were interchangeable. Each group was able to work on their Greek theatre script without disruption or interruption. And I feel that each group, their attainment was raised as they were able to perform their extracts. And even the group with the 4 very disruptive pupils, although they were harder to manage and they did display challenging behaviour, even so, they, because there was a smaller amount of them, they were able to focus. They had less of an audience to play up to, and the group, the rest of the group, the 70% of the class, were able to split up into their 3 groups, practice their scripts, and we had a show of each performance at the end. They delivered convincingly, seriously, and they did show real progress. So what would I do differently? I would do this sooner, because I feel around half term this was the best thing to do, but I carried on, and the other teacher carried on trying to make the group bond, trying different strategies in order for them to understand that they had to focus and take the subject seriously in order to progress, in order to cover the course content. I think an area for my development is reading the situation and understanding the situation. I do that, but I don't always act upon it as quickly as I can, and I think this has been a real learning curve for me, a real lesson for me to take into future classes. I have high expectations of pupils. I don't give up on them easy. I realise that you can't expect to deal with challenging behaviour overnight. Read a couple of books and think, oh yeah, you know, I can try this with them. Some classes, you're in it for the long game, but I think a term of different strategies, of different methods of teaching, different lessons, different approaches with the children, and I think after a term of completely, I wouldn't say going nowhere, but making little progress, I think I will next time act sooner to do something more definite. I did overcome their challenging behaviour eventually. I was reluctant to split them up, and even though I have known this for some time, I think that this was probably the best course of action, and that I shouldn't see that as failure, because what I actually did was, by splitting the group up, I allowed each group to work on their scripts, concentrate on their drama and focus. And yes, the 4 disruptive pupils, it was harder with them, and it is going to take a lot longer, but for the rest of them, the 70%, they were able to get on, and they were able to do what they took drama for. And seeing them this week working in their groups and rehearsing and showing such enthusiasm for their Greek theatre scripts, I think upon reflection I know that I need to trust my own professional judgment maybe a bit sooner in the future.